All right, guys, how are you doing? I'm going back to this bill. This is the $10, they call it a conspiracy bill, and that's because of the Secretary of Treasurer. His name is John Connally. So, John Connally was the governor of Texas when JFK got shot. John Connally was also riding and sitting in the car with JFK when JFK got shot. It was JFK and Jackie Onassis in the back. It was John Connally and his wife, Nellie Connally, sitting right in front of them. And then you had the driver and I guess Secret Service. But he was riding in the car with John F. Kennedy, the president, when Kennedy was assassinated. Now, right after Kennedy gets assassinated, Lyndon Johnson becomes president. He was the vice president under John F. Kennedy. Now he's the president. After Johnson, Richard Nixon gets elected president and makes John Connally Secretary of Treasury. So he's made Secretary of Treasury in 1971. And one of the first things he's instructed to do is to remove the U.S. dollar from the gold standard. And what that means is this. Before 1971, 1972, every dollar you had in your pocket was backed by a piece of gold. You couldn't have more dollars than there was in gold reserve. Nixon took the dollar off the gold reserve, and Connally was the one that presided over it. He's the one that overlooked it and made sure it was happening and got it done. Now, when Richard Nixon asked John Connally to be Secretary of State, John Connally would only take this position if Richard Nixon appointed a position to George H.W. Bush. So Richard Nixon comes to Connally and says, look, I want to make you my Secretary of Treasury, and these are the things I want you to do. And Connally basically tells him, no, I won't do this unless you take George Bush and give him a position in your cabinet, in the administration. And so Nixon makes George Bush the United States ambassador to the nations. And he does this from 1971 to 1973. But Connally was not going to take this job unless George Bush was given a position. So a little bit more about John Connally. He was a Democrat, and then in 1973 he decided to become a Republican. He was accused of interfering or influencing milk pricing decisions. So he was doing something where he was influencing the price of milk. And people were making money one way or the other, and he was being accused of influencing that or interfering with that. They said that he was taking money and somebody handed him $10,000. Now, this is back in the 60s, and somebody supposedly gave him $10,000 in cash to make a decision or influence a milk price, and it was brought out. He wasn't convicted, but it was alleged. He was close with George Bush, the father, George H.W. Bush, who then was the head, or he was a big shot at the CIA. He's been accused of certain things. The milk pricing or interfering with the milk price was one of them. He was one of the main people that took the dollar off the gold standard. And, it's always the JFK assassination. There's a lot of conspiracy around it. There's a lot of who done it, right? Who was involved with it, who got involved with it. And supposedly there was a lot of players between, organized crime and the government itself. And he may have been amongst those players or around those players. Now he is on the $10 bill. His name is there. This is my bill. And when you look at it, there you go, Secretary of Treasury, John Connally. And that's why some people call this $10 bill with his name on it a conspiracy bill or conspiracy $10 bill. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I find these things fascinating. I find them interesting, and that's why I share them with you. And when I find something that's, interesting, especially when it has to do with money and, I want to share it. And you may be walking around with this in your pocket. It's true. Like, subscribe, comment. I hope all you guys are doing good. I know you guys might be locked in the house right now. Do your best to stay healthy and, just do good. God bless you, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right? Later. Like and subscribe. All right. Later.